Hello, friends and beautiful people. We have a lot going on here this weekend with heavy equipment, so I thought I would take a quick opportunity to do a video today because I'm not going to be able to do one tomorrow. That's when I originally thought I would do one, and give you a quick garden tour. So as you can see, whoops, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. We've got the shade cloth on the high tunnel. And let me show you what we've got going on. So here are our garbanzo beans, and we did plant those in the high tunnel this year to keep the mice and the chipmunks from harvesting the beans for us. That's what happened last time. So I'm tickled. They do need a little bit of water, but they start off looking like this. They're just a gorgeous plant, and then the leaves fill out and they start looking like this. So there's those. Let me come to bring you over here. We've got some carrots in here. I just watered them, so that's why they're laying down a little bit, but super tickled about the carrots. And there's the orange tree my mama got me, and it actually had flowers on it, and if you look, we're gonna get little oranges. I don't know how well they'll do, but, and then we've got some, just took some stuff out of here. We got some beets growing in here. And then let me show you this fig tree, not this one, the other one. Hang on. I do believe we're going to have some figs this year. This guy has gone nuts. And I'm super stoked about the elderberry. We are going to have serious elderberry this year. I actually have to stand back some so that you can see it all. What I also love about this, the chickens aren't out yet, so they're fussing. What are you doing out here, Miss Tigger? So that's also providing shade to our chickens. Real quick, I have to show you something. Here's my girl. She just had kittens back at the end of April. And she hasn't been let out of the barn yet, so she must have found a way out. We put them in the barn at night to keep the coyotes from getting them. So these are the Macedonian peppers that we got planted. They're doing really well. And then there's some basil. I don't know how well you can see that. It's doing really well. And then this next bed, these are black creme tomatoes. And one of the things I love about the black crims, and see if you can see, we're already getting tomatoes. They make the best fried green tomatoes. So then on the other side of the black crims are our bullnose peppers, which are just your standard bell peppers. And I'm tickled with how well they're doing as well. There we go. Then over here, this was our broccoli. And what I love about broccoli, and I was going to do a video on it, but the birds made sure that I couldn't, is we have spring broccoli and then we have fall broccoli. And the spring broccoli we eat as fast as we can get it off the plant, but then it if you let some of it go to seed, then you get the seed just in time for your fall planting, which is what I harvested yesterday. So these are the Marconi peppers. I threw some marigolds down there, and there were 2 leftover tomato plants that I moved down here, the Amish paste. And then, as you can see, our pak choi has gone absolutely bonkers, letting that one go to seed. And then our, can you see the kohlrabi? It's hard with this mesh on here. And then down here is some more basil. And then these are our Roma tomato plants. And they're doing really, really well. And then over here are my beloved paprika peppers, which are already starting, the flowers are starting to, let me see if I can show you. Flowers are coming on there. The only thing that we've really struggled with this year has been beans, and we're working on that. I was concerned that there might be something in our soil after all these videos I've seen, but I think what it is a lot of people in our zone have said that they've had trouble with beans and they've had to plant 2 and 3 times this year. So we'll see how that goes for us. Now this is a Sicilian tomato, and while it looks like it has leaf curl, this guy does this. He folds up his leaves and then he opens them back up. So I'm not going to be too concerned about him. And then over here, do not buy this. And I'll show you why in a minute. We had to supplement, and we're just going to have to up our game. So these were our peas, and we left the last few on here for seed. And then behind it are, those are all Champagne Bubbles tomatoes. And what I've done is I have just left them alone. I didn't pull any of them out. It's a forest back there. But what that's going to do is, you see how our sun comes up over there. It's going to provide shade for when I plant our next round of peas. And I'm going to have to amend the soil first, but then that's happening. And then these are our provider beans. And as you can see, they're doing really well. I planted twice in that spot and it didn't come up, so we're done trying. But we're going to plant another bed of these because everyone loves these. We'll get a lot off of just these plants here, but I want to make sure we have a bounty. So we are going to, and yeah, we got a little bit of insect damage. We're organic. So if I can, I overlook it as much as possible. And then if things get out of hand, I will come in and go ahead and spray them with some kind of organic spray. But for now, we're just going to leave them. But as you can see, they are already flowering, and they have such a beautiful purple flower. And here's what's left of the beets that are out here. And this was before we got the rabbit fence on. The rabbits got in here and just decimated all of the leaves as they came up. So we're letting this go. I was just going to fill in and plant some more, but it gets really hard around harvest time to make sure that you're only getting the big beets. So what we'll do is we're going to give these guys probably a few more weeks, pull them, can them. We'll put something else here, and then we're going to plant more beets in another bed. These are the carrots we planted out here, and again, super tickled. Those have been thinned, so I think we're going to have a huge carrot harvest this year. And I've already pulled the scapes off my garlic. This is the time of year you really want to make sure you're still watering that garlic. This is when the bulbs are really, really thickening out, getting bigger. So I'm going to say, usually we will harvest these around the 4th of July. And I think that the timing is good. That's where the timing is going to be this year. On the other side of that garlic to fill in the bed, I planted some of those extra onion sets that I had, and I'll probably go ahead and fill this in with more onions. And this is Puddin' Pop's crazy birdhouse gourds. These guys have been doing just phenomenal, and as you can see, we're going to have a lot of gourds, and that's exciting because we'll do cousins camp here this winter with the grandkids, and that'll give them something to do. We're going to paint birdhouse gourds. Look at these tomatoes, guys. Again, we're just super excited. Our garden's doing pretty well this year. So we've got tomatoes down there. And you know, you want to prune those, make sure that they're up off the ground. I need to come back in and grab some more leaves off of some of my plants because so far everybody's super healthy and I want to keep it that way. But these are just Amish paste. And I need to probably thin the top of this one out a little. More Amish paste. Tomatoes. I love coming out here in the mornings. I love my coffee with Jesus. It's the birds are just crazy in the mornings. And then, sorry, that's the bed I already showed you with the paprika peppers and the tomatoes. And that's a bed I just planted. I just restarted some beans. I don't see any action. That's scary. All right, hang on here. These are the Castula tomatoes. Again, doing super well. And I know I've told you 100 times, but I love these trellises. And then here are the watermelons. Woohoo! We moved them back up to the front after last year. And I think that was pretty much a wise choice. Here are the brandywines. Now these guys got planted out here too late. Later than what I would have wanted. I came in with some fish emulsion a couple days ago and gave them a nice little boost of nitrogen because they were still in pots in the high tunnel probably 2 weeks ago. Same thing here. Only these are starts with a K. I think this was a free seed we got from Baker Creek. Banana peppers, they didn't come up the first time, so we had to replant them. And, you know, we don't use a lot. I'm not too concerned. We have 1 good plant and 4, but these were restarted from seed on April 30th. So they're not doing bad. They're just not doing well. Okay, remember the mulch I showed you? That's what it looks like. Now it does say, full disclosure, on the website, on Lowe's website, that there's sand mixed in. Friends, this is all sand. Look at this. So I left a nice review, and I'm going to reach out to them because I bought a whole skid of this and I can't use it. Cannot use it at all. I just need to up my game in the compost department. Here's our okra. Now I did put some more in here. I planted it last Saturday, but it did not, we didn't have the germination, and I'm not even going to tell you who I got the seeds from, but I am about done buying seeds from them. These are our Chadwick cherry tomatoes. And then on the other side over here, let me show you. We had some issues with cucumber beetles. These were those Italian melons that we lost all of last year. I had it planted on both sides. I'm down to 4.5 plants. So I'm going to go ahead and come in with some Amish melons on the other side, see what happens. It's probably too late to even do that, but they just didn't do well here, and I've been really I've been fighting the cucumber beetles, but not as bad as last year. And here is our zucchini. As you can see, we've got lots of flowers going on here. We've got baby zucchinis down there, if you can see it. Sorry, I need to get out here and weed all of my beds. I try not to let them get too far out of control. So here we have some Italian butternut squash. And one of the things that I was told, and we'll talk about this more on my companion planting video. See there, the cucumber beetle damage down there? This stuff struggled, and I was told that if you plant things in here, so we've got dill, marigolds, and the Italian butternut squash, that you need to hide the scent of your squash plants, and that will keep them from being able to find it. And this dill wasn't large enough, and there's not enough of it for it to be effective. But I did do that on another bed And there's tons and tons of dill, and I had no damage. Well, I take that back. I had a little bit of damage. These are the Cherokee purple tomatoes. Again, they're looking pretty good. And then over here, this is our Tennessee bed that we do every year. Pretty sure this is just going to be more Chadwick cherries, but we always let it go. So Tennessee bed is, Tennessee's the volunteer state, and that's what those are. Those are all volunteers. And I figure if they can make it through the winter here and all the nonsense going on our farm, then they're good enough for me. And this is another cucumber bed. This is a pickling cucumber. And this guy was really struggling with the cucumber beetles as well. And I came in and sprayed it with some cucumber beetle, some organic spray, and it really helps. But look, we got something going on there we need to investigate. And this is some of that beautiful mulch, or compost, I mean. Not one bit happy. All right, and then I'll show you the medicinal bed. I'm not going to go over there. We've got where we put this rabbit fence on the bottom. Hubs hasn't cut it apart yet, so I'm pretty much locked in. But we've got the amaranth in there. We have a lone pumpkin, and there's a long story to that. A friend was supposed to come and get it. Calendula. I've got sunflowers planted in a couple rows up against this garden. And this is, so I have done nothing to this garden except for plant. So everything that's there is just striving on its own. But that's all the amaranth. And then there's the huckleberries back there. I've got some medicinal echinacea back there. And there is some chamomile. And I'm trying to remember what else is out there. I've got some borage that needs to go out there, some hyssop that needs to go out there. I'm going to move some of the yarrow out there, and I'm forgetting something. So I'll tell you a quick story about the yarrow. I was out in the garden, and it was hot, and I had a pair of jeans on, and I went in the house to change. So I came back out here to the garden, and I tripped over one of my super heavy duty tomato trellises. Now when I'm not using them, I poke them in the ground just like you see them with the tomatoes. And Hubs had laid them down over some black plastic. And long story short, it practically impaled my leg. It went in all the way to the bone. There was about, I'm going to say at least a half-inch hole in my leg. So I'm laying there, you know, checking out the situation, seeing what happened as far as did I break anything, you know, am I alive? You know what you do when you fall. And I didn't think anything else about it. I got up and got back to work in the garden, and all of a sudden I felt like there was ticks crawling on me. We've taken several ticks off of ourselves out here, and I thought, oh my gosh. And I looked down at my leg where I think this tick is, and my leg is covered in blood. So I grabbed some leaves, scrunched them all up in my hands, and smeared them all over it, and it stopped it right now. And that's one of the great medicinal values of this yarrow, is that it is a great coagulant. And as we go on over the summer, I'll show you more of what I'm doing with some of the medicinals. Isn't this yarrow just beautiful? I love it. All right, friends. Well, that's our tour for today. And our coffee with Jesus. I'm going to spend some more prayer time out here. Today would have been Pops' birthday. And I always struggle with it because tomorrow is the anniversary of when my real dad committed suicide. So, and I'm not saying that for pity or anything like that, but my mom was never in the mood to plan Pops' birthday parties. So I always did that. And so today I'm struggling a little, and I need my coffee with Jesus. And I thought you would be a great distraction for me. So until next time, be blessed and be a blessing.